Hey you guys, it's me, Sean Strong, your 2019 Mayesh Design Star, and I'm here at Summer Hour Studio where we're going to be working on a beautiful terrarium courtesy of Acacia Decor. Now this is the Wharf terrarium, and what I'm going to do is fill this with moss and have a beautiful meadow inside of it. Can't wait to show you guys what it's going to look like, and I hope you guys stay tuned and follow along.
I think it might get bangs.
So the materials that we need for this foam-free installation include your water picks. We're also going to be using sheet moss as our base, and then we're going to be incorporating some beautiful flowers courtesy of Mayesh. So we have things like Hellebore, we have some Snowberry, we have some Smilax, and I think it's going to really create this beautiful, organic, natural design inside this enclosed space. Now the materials that we're going to use today, we're going to be using chicken wire, we're going to be using UGLU Dashes, and also using our water picks. Now water picks are an excellent resource to use whenever you're doing any type of foam-free installation. Not only are they great because they're supportive, but you're also able to use them because they can be recyclable as well. We're going to go ahead and measure out our oasis and make sure that this is going to fit inside of the terrarium. So this is about a good length that we want to have. And what we're going to do is make sure that we double up on this. So we're going to fold this in half once this is cut. This is going to be the base foundation, and we're going to make sure that we cover it up with moss. So once we do that, we'll be able to put the water picks inside of it, and it's going to be really supportive. That way the flowers are going to go where we want them to go. So now that our chicken wire is cut, I'm going to begin folding this in half. I want to make sure that I have 2 layers at least whenever I'm doing this, because it's going to allow a little bit of stability for our flowers. If I just had 1 layer, the flowers would fall flat. If I have 2 layers going through, it's really going to create a support system. All right, so now that we have our chicken wire inside of the terrarium, what I'm gonna do is begin mossing this. Now again, in order to create a beautiful kind of natural feel, I'm gonna have a lower section over here, I'm gonna have some height over here, but that moss is also gonna work as a structural foundation for our water picks. So now that we have our moss in here, it's really important to start thinking about the textures that you're going to be using. Especially when you're working in a monochromatic kind of color palette, you want to make sure that there's lots of textures and things that kind of catch the eye. So if you were to do something like this, it would probably be best to do this on site, because once these water picks are in, although it's going to be pretty secure, it's not going to be that secure if you start moving things around. So what I'm going to do is start creating little tiny bouquets or little arrangements inside of each one of these water picks. And it's really going to help create a lot of texture inside of this terrarium. So what we're going to start adding in is like these beautiful Hellebores. Now I love Hellebores. These are one of my favorite flowers, and I know as a florist it's very difficult to pick a favorite flower, but you can't ever go wrong with Hellebore. They are just a beautiful texture, they have beautiful color variation, and they just have this beautiful garden soft kind of feel to them. So we're gonna add some beautiful Hellebore and also some other textures to create this enclosed kind of meadow. Now, I think it's really smart to kind of think about how the flower grows in nature in order to make it look as natural as possible. Hellebore is kind of like a shrub. It grows pretty low, so it grows in groups like this. So when you're doing your installations or you're doing your centerpieces, make sure you're kind of thinking about that. How does a flower grow in nature? And that's going to really tell you how you should be placing it inside of any type of centerpiece, installation, or bouquet. So right here, as you guys can tell, we have this cool little moment happening of these Hellebores. We have some really cool textures, some Snowberries gonna be added in. I like the idea of just creating lots and lots of textures and little pockets throughout this whole entire thing. So we're gonna have some flowers kind of growing up, growing out of it to where it looks like it's been here for quite some time. So again, as you guys can see, adding in lots of textures in something like this is really, really gonna help make this look very natural. I want to make sure that things are looking purposeful, so again, we're grouping things in their families, kind of like how we do our bouquets and our centerpieces and our installations, keeping everything together, kind of its own little group. Now, my original thought process in this design was to incorporate Smilax coming out of this. And after I started designing, I realized this is a little too obtrusive for me to be putting this inside all these delicate small flowers. So instead, if I was gonna be doing something a little bit bigger and having, I don't know, some garden roses or some branches, something kind of coming out of this, I would incorporate Smilax. But right now, the scale is just a little off. Now, one of the greatest things that you guys can use is UGLU Dashes. These are one of my favorite tools to use on any type of glass like this. What you do is you just peel this off and you stick it on the glass, press firmly, and you're able to pull off this little tiny tab. And that's gonna allow you to attach Smilax to the glass. Now, one thing I would do is make sure that you cover up that tape, maybe pressing a leaf against it. That way you don't see the mechanics and everything looks like it's supposed to be there. But having this kind of cascade out with some larger flowers would be absolutely wonderful. Again, the scale of the smaller items like this, I thought I wanted to go that direction, but you know, this is design. Sometimes things change. All right, you guys, so this is our enclosed structure that we have. This is the Wharf column from Accent Decor. I incorporated moss and Hellebores, some other various textures to make sure that this looked like an indoor enclosed meadow. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. Please follow along on Instagram. Let me know if you guys are doing something like this. I would love to see your interpretation of it. Thank you guys so very much, and of course, thank you, Mayesh, for the beautiful product. I'll see you guys next month.